letter series. So, letter series is more or less similar to number series. In number series, we are finding the difference, or we are finding the relationship between the first number, the second number and the third number, and so on. Here also we are finding the relationships, but not between the numbers, but between the letters. We will be given random letters, a random set of letters, and then we have to find the difference, or we have to find the unknown set of letters from the given letter. So, the basic concept is the same as compared to the number series, because we will be given some numbers in the number series. Here we will be given some letters or some group of letters, and then we have to find the unknown letter, or the unknown, or we have to fill in the blanks. So, more or less the concept is similar, but the method of finding the answer is a little bit different. Here also we will be dealing with the differences between the letters, just like we were dealing with the differences between the numbers earlier. But here there are some other things that we have to give focus on. The first thing that we have to do is, in your NET exam, you will be getting some time before the exam. In most of the cases, you will be getting some time before the exam. You will get your paper with you, you will get your pen with you. So, what you do is, first of all, write all the alphabets in ascending order and number them. Okay. On your screen you can see an example. You write A, B, C, D, E, F, G until Z, and then you number each, A 1, B 2, C 3 until Z, which is 26. So, you give an order, you write them in the ascending order and then number them. Similarly, write them in descending order also. Start from Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, and then start numbering them also. So, in the first case, A will be 1, B will be 2, C will be 3. In this case, in the second case, Z will be 1, Y will be 2, X will be 3, and then you number them again. So, write the alphabetic letters from the start, write the alphabetic letters from the bottom, and then number them equally. Okay, so, in the first case, A will be 1, in the second case, A will be 26. This will act as a base for your letter series questions. If you get a letter series question, similarly if you get a coding question that we will be discussing later, if you get a coding type of question, this base, this numbering or this ascending and descending order and the numbering of those letters will serve as a base for you. Okay. So, let us start. To find the relationships, what we do is, in letter series, sometimes I will give you an example. AWD, that is a letter, that is a set of letters, that is one letter or one element. AWD, comma, second one is BXC, third one is CYB, and the fourth one is a dash. So, you will have to find the fourth letter or the fourth set of letters. I will tell you again, AWD, BXC, CYB, and dash. So, you will have to fill in the blanks. So, you have to find the unknown set of letters that is given to you. So, in letter series, there is a simple concept. The first letter of every word will have the relationship. Okay. So, the first word you get is, or the first set of letters, the first element you get is AWD. The second element you get is BXC. Here the relationship is not between A and W. The relationship is not, it might not be between A and D. The relationship is between the first letter of the first word and the first letter of the second word, again goes to the first letter of the third word, and then you have to find the first letter of the fourth word. Okay. So, take the example. You get the first letter as A, then you get the first letter as B, then you get the first letter as C. So, obviously, the first letter of the fourth one will be D. That is how you find a letter series. Next one, AWD was the first element. You get W. So, you compare the second letter of the first word with the second letter of the second word, second letter of the third word, and the second letter of the fourth word. You get W, X, Y, you will get Z, right. Next one, you get D, the third letter of the first word, D. Then you get the third letter as C. So, it is going backwards, D, C, then you get B. So, obviously, you have to get A. So, the answer will be AWD, BXC, CYB, and the answer will be D, Z, and A. So, this is how you find the answer of a letter series, of a common letter series. You compare the relationship between the first letter of each word. Then you compare the relationship between the second letter of each word. Then the third letter of each word. Finally, you will get your answer. Okay. So, that is how you find the relationship between or the answer of a common letter series pattern. Now, as we discussed in the number series, now we are going to give a look upon the different types of patterns that you get. In number series, we said that you will get a +1, you will get +2, you get +3, you will get prime numbers, squares, composites, cubes, relationship between alternative numbers, compound questions, combination questions, like that. So, here also there are 2 or 3 forms or 2 or 3 patterns that you have to keep in mind. The first thing you have to keep in mind is give an order, write all the letters in ascending and descending orders, and then number them. The second thing you have to do is find out the relationship between the first letter of all the words, then the second letter of all the words, then the third letter of all the words, and finally you will get your answer in most of the cases. But there are some questions which are a little more complicated. So, we will be looking at each one of the patterns that we have to keep an eye on. So, one of the next pattern is where the middle letter remains constant and the extreme letters change. So, it is not that all the time all the letters might not change. So, in this case, in one of the patterns, what happens is the middle letter remains constant while the extreme right and the extreme left letters change. I will give you an example: ALP, CLS, ELV dash. Here you can see that the middle letter L, it does not change at all. L is L in the first word, L is L in the second word, L is L in the third word. So, obviously L remains constant in the fourth word also. So, L is the middle letter. So, you only have to find 2 letters, right. So, then you check the relationship between the first letters. You get A, then you get C. So, B is skipped there, A, B, C, then D is skipped, you get E. So, the next one you skip F, you will get G. So, G, L is the letter next, the first 2 letters of the next word. Then you take the third word, you get P, then S. The second one is S. So, P, Q is skipped, R is skipped. So, P, Q, R, S, then T, U, both of them are skipped, you get V. So, obviously you have to skip 2 letters for the third letter. So, you will get V, W is skipped, X is skipped, you will get Y. So, this is how you approach a letter series. Each letter will have a different series. Each letter will have a different pattern. This is a little more complicated than number series, because in number series what happens is all the letters will have all the numbers will have a common pattern or a common form. But here in this case, the first letters of each word will have a different format, the second letters of each word will have a different pattern, and the third letter will also have a different pattern. So, you have to find out the different patterns. Next one what happens is the exact opposite of what we said right now. What we said right now was middle letter remains constant, extreme letters change. But in the next case, extreme letters remain constant, the middle letters change. I will give an example: KRR, KQR, KPR dash. So, here we see that the extreme letters K and R, it remains constant in the first word, the second word, the third word. So, it will remain constant in the fourth word. We get K as the first letter, we get R as the second letter. So, we only have to be concerned with the middle letter. The middle letter, we can see the first letter is R, the second letter is Q, the second word the middle letter is Q, the third word it is P. So, it is a reverse going alphabet. This is why we actually write the numbers and we actually write the letters in ascending and descending order. Because when we try to memorize the alphabets in the reverse order, we might not get it, we might miss something, we might get confused. But if you write it in a descending order and then you number them, you get the exact answer. So, there is R, there is Q, there is P. You go to where you have written the ascending and descending orders, you will get the answer as O, because it is O, P, Q, R. Or when you go in the reverse order, you get R, Q, P, O. So, that is the answer. The answer is KOR, where the extreme letters stay constant and the middle letter change. So, this is the basic idea of number series. So, next format or the next pattern that you have to keep in mind is the format which includes vowels. We know vowels A, E, I, O, U. So, a series will form in that manner also. For example, we are actually going through examples a lot, because that is how you practice for net questions, especially for arithmetic reasoning questions. There are no theories, there are no basic concepts, there are just guidelines and there are your question practices. So, that is what we do. So, the next one, as I said, is to keep the vowels in mind, A, E, I, O, U. For example, take the series AP, comma EQ, comma IR, comma OS dash. So, you will have your options. For example, you will have your options as the first option is QT, second option is UT, the third option is UX, the fourth option is QX. So, you have your options there, you have your question, try to work it out. Here you can see that you have AP, EQ, IR, OS. You take the first letter of each word, you get A, E, I, O. So, obviously, definitely the answer, the first letter of the answer will be U, because you have a vowel formation there, A, E, I, O, U. So, that will be U. So, from the options, what you do is you eliminate two answers, you eliminate QT, you eliminate QX, because both of these have Q as the first letter, but we already got U as the first letter. So, both Qs, both answers containing Qs will be eliminated. So, you have only two options left right now. That is how you answer the question. You eliminate the impossible answers or the improbable answers. So, you get the options left as UT or UX. So, you just have to find out the last letter if it is T or X. Here you can see that P is the second letter of the first word, then comes Q, then comes R, then comes S. So, P, Q, R, S, answer will be T. So, the answer will be UT. Here the second letter is easy for you to find because it is a continuing series, it is P, Q, R, S, T. But what happens is where you get confused is A, E, I, O, U. You start counting the numbers from A to E. B is skipped, C is skipped, D is skipped. So, 3 letters are skipped. So, you keep on skipping the letters, but here it is not the case. It is A, E, I, O, and obviously the last one you get it as U. So, the answer is UT. So, you have to keep the vowels in mind. These are the main concepts in letter series. You have to check, you have to write in ascending and descending orders. You have to check the relationship between the letters, the first letters of each word, second letters of each word, third letters of each word. Then what you have to do is you have to check whether the extreme letters are changing. You have to check whether the extreme letters are remaining constant, and then you have to keep the vowels in mind. One of the last concept in letter series is the continuous series. You get an example, you get a question, for example, AB, 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 A dash. So, you know that the answer is B. So, because if you write it as B, you get a continuous series AB, 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 AB. For example, take another one, ABB, ABB, A dash B. So, you will write it as B, because if you write B, you get a continuous series as ABB, ABB, ABB. So, these are simple questions. When it comes to NET exam, you will get a little more complicated questions. I will give you an example, A dash, AB dash, BA dash, AB dash. This is how you will get a question in the NET exam. And the options you will get is BABA, ABBA, AAAB, BBAA. So, this is for example, if you are taking the first option BABA, so if you are checking for the answer, the first B in the option BABA, in the first B will relate to the first dash in the question, the second letter A will relate to the second dash in the question, the third letter B will relate to the third dash, the fourth letter will relate to the fourth dash. So, that is how you answer. Now, to find the answer, here what we do is either we try to find out the relation, or either we try to find out the continuous series, or we try the trial and error method. I personally find that the trial and error method is more more easy, because even though it takes a little bit more of time, we are actually doing something rather than just thinking. So, here when we check, we get the answer as AB, 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 A. So, that is how you get the answer. The next one, I will give you an example, B dash, B dash, B dash, B A, B A dash B. So, here you get the options as AABB, BBAA, BBBB, then AABA. Try to find out the answer. So, here the answer will be the first one, that is AABB, because if you convert it into the question, we will get it as BAB, ABB, BAB, ABB. So, that is another type of series that is forming. So, in this question what you have to do is you have to compare the answers with the fill in the blanks in the question with the blanks in the question, and then you get the continuous series, that is in the letter series type of questions. So, these are the guidelines for the letter series type of question which you will get in the NET exam. You will have to write the alphabets in the ascending and the descending order, and you will have to number them. Then you will have to find the relationship between the first letter of each numbers, the second letter of each numbers, and so on. You have to check the extreme letters, you have to check the middle letters whichever is staying constant and whichever is changing. You have to keep the vowels in mind, and you will have to practice doing the continuous series.